All right, so today we're diving into something truly wild. It's a surreal and frankly hilarious digital art piece called Banalotopia 41. It's this incredible blend of satire and a kind of dystopian nightmare, and we're going to pull it apart and see exactly what's going on inside this bizarre world.
So right out of the gate we get this. This is apparently rush hour, but instead of cars or trains, the sky is just full of flying toilets, a constant stream of them. And that's not just a funny little detail, right? It's our very first clue that the rules of this world are, well, not the same as ours. I mean, just think about that for a second. Your alarm goes off, you stumble out of bed, and you head outside to catch the 8:15 Porcelain Express to the office. It's a ridiculous thought, and it's the perfect way to get our heads into the strange space that is Banalotopia.
Okay, so let's get our bearings and take a look at the environment itself. This is our official welcome to the concrete jungle. The first thing that hits you is the architecture. It is pure brutalism, just these massive, imposing concrete towers stretching up into a sky that seems to be permanently gray and rainy. And if you look closely, you see these huge, glowing corporate logos plastered on everything. This isn't just a city, it feels more like a corporate campus, totally anonymous and kind of oppressive. And that really gets to the heart of it all. This is Banalotopia. The name itself is perfect. It's banal, boring and ordinary, but it's also a kind of twisted utopia, or dystopia. And it's that mix of things we recognize from our own world and things that are just completely off the wall that we're going to dig into.
So you have to wonder, what powers a place like this? What's the engine of the whole society? Well, that brings us to their very, very strange, toilet-centric economy.
Yeah, I think you probably know where this is going. In a world where toilets literally fly through the sky, what do you think the biggest business is?
Yup, it's sanitary ceramics. The whole economy, it seems, is built on toilets, urinals, and sinks, and it is a fierce market. On one hand, you've got Landblum Sanitaire Ceramic, very sleek, modern, almost cold in its design. And then you have their competitor, Cuddle Hair and Dunn, who've apparently been in the game since 1912 and are going for this old money, classical, almost historical vibe. And this says it all, doesn't it? This tells you everything you need to know about what these people value. The ultimate status symbol, the thing everyone aspires to own, is the toilet of the century. A solid gold toilet, sitting on a pedestal like it's a masterpiece in a museum. And this obsession is everywhere. It just seeps into every part of life. Here we are, checking into Hilbert's Hotel. The receptionist, sure, is a ghost. That's kind of neat, but look behind the desk. That's not the lobby. It's a giant warehouse packed with endless rows of toilets. The product is always front and center. Okay, so if you live in this toilet-obsessed world, what's a 9-to-5 look like? This brings us to the utter absurdity of work in Banalotopia. So this seems to be some kind of board meeting or maybe a focus group. But just look at who's there. You've got humans, a fox, a chicken, some robots, and of course, no one's sitting on a boring old office chair. Nope, they're all sitting on toilets, arranged in a perfect corporate circle. Hanging on the wall in that room is a job posting for an intern, and oh my god, it's a work of art. The duties include, and I'm not making this up, verbally smear honey on the director's beard, and perform exclusive and unreflected adulation. My favorite, though, is having to motivate the graphics card during rendering. You just have to talk to it, I guess. And what's the pay? Experience. With a potential bonus of a possibly warm handshake. It is such a sharp, funny jab at corporate culture and unpaid internships.
We've seen the city and the jobs. Now let's get a closer look at the actual citizens, the locals who call this bizarre place home. So, first up, let's meet the media. This is a news crew from a station called TRF-TV. And yeah, they all have pineapples for heads. Why? Who knows? In Banalotopia, you just have to accept that the people bringing you the nightly news are walking, talking fruit.
And the social interactions are just as weird. Here's a bear in a jumpsuit having a coffee meeting with some chickens. Standard stuff. But wait, look closer at the chickens. Some of them aren't just chickens. They're also urinals. It's this fusion of animal and product, of the organic and the ceramic, that is just so deeply weird, but totally normal here.
So what do people do for fun? What's the culture like? Well, it looks like this. You've got a robot playing classical music on a grand piano, while the bear mascot dances for an audience of chicken urinals, all happening in front of a giant periodic table of elements.
It's this crazy mashup of art, science, branding, and of course, bathroom fixtures.
Okay, we've seen the flying toilets, the pineapple heads, the whole shebang. And you have to be asking yourself, is there any point to all this madness? Let's talk about the satire that's built right into the system.
If you start looking at the backgrounds in these images, you'll see the walls are just covered with posters, propaganda, and advertisements. And it's in these little details that the real commentary starts to shine through.
This right here is the whole game. Look at these two posters, side by side. On the left, you've got the bear as the scary, authoritarian leader screaming, "You are terrible, stop it immediately." That's control through fear. Then on the right, you have the same bear, but he's your friendly corporate mascot with a cute slogan. That's control through consumerism. The system uses the exact same face to threaten you and to sell you something.
And the satire just gets more pointed. This poster takes the famous slogan of the French Revolution, liberté, égalité, fraternité, liberty, equality, brotherhood, and it just swaps out the last word. Now it's liberté, égalité, sanitaire. Liberty, equality, sanitary ware. It's a brilliant, cynical take on how modern consumerism can take these huge, powerful ideas of revolution and just boil them down to a tagline for a product.
And that leaves us with this final image, which is actually kind of haunting. Here are all the citizens of Banalotopia. They're sitting together in a circle, but each one is trapped in their own little spotlight. They're sharing some kind of experience, maybe a presentation, but they're completely isolated from each other, alone on their porcelain thrones.
And really, it all boils down to one final question. Is this bizarre world, with its corporate nonsense and its obsession with stuff and its weird, lonely way of connecting, is it a warning about some crazy future we're heading for? Or is it just a funhouse mirror, reflecting back a distorted, but maybe more honest version of the world we're already in? Something to chew on.